Eating good, drinking good, thinking good thoughts, having a good time, sharing good energy with good people and good places. So back here in the basket, I've added some new stuff, downloads that I got from the morning. I just went ahead and started writing them down and throwing them. Whoa, where you saw that? Writing them down and throwing them in. Okay. I was trying to figure out like a way to close this up and like try to get the cards to come only out of this little handle. I thought that that might be a good idea to try to like shake out messages. So I might try that later or something like that and see what I get. But that might just be like a reading that I post. Maybe even as a premiere. I don't know. So, whew, a lot of messages it looks like, even though there's not like a bunch of cards just yet. Okay. Okay. We'll start here. All right, give me a second. Let me make sure you guys can hear me and everything. Your spiritual level up is on multiple levels. So I feel like we all, have gifts that we're given from our ancestors and things like that. But I feel like you're getting a few more gifts on multiple levels. So it's like things may be on the physical realm, they may be financial, they may be good health, they may be good partnerships, they may be good finances, they may be all of those things, just to be perfectly honest, because the level up goes all the way up. Looks like it, it's up there. So let me see. Let me go ahead and hop on and see if I can hear myself. Ooh. All right, give me just a second. Okie dokie dokie. All right. All right. All right. First off, a new beginning and your spiritual level up is on multiple levels. So you have multiple levels of new beginnings for yourself coming in. Loving it. All right, let's see. Can you guys hear me? Because that's what I'm doing, trying to see if you guys hear me. Oh. That wasn't on purpose. That's literally a oh, that's the energy though. That is literally the energy. It's a commercial for like a 30-day trial on something called beehive.com, but that's too funny. Okay, let me get to where I need to begin. Can you guys hear that? Because I got this energy of like what is the guy's name? I think it was John Jones or something like that I looked up. But it's giving some energy like that. And I don't know if like this guy lost his championship belt. But I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm going to just go ahead and see if you guys can hear me. And if it comes up in the reading, then it does. All right. I'll stop that echo for you guys. We got what we needed. All right. So your spiritual gifts are on this level up. You're getting multiple spiritual gifts. Hi, haters. You're about to say bye, too. That was a very heavy energy that I got. Let me pull up my notes because since we're coming into that, it's giving an energy of separating the wheat from the chaff. And so I went ahead and kind of looked up that definition to kind of see like how this relates to the reading, because that was a download, a specific download. That's what's actually happening right now. So separating the wheat from chaff, some people call it ascension. We're just trying to help people to understand at this point what's actually happening here and why they look like they do to themselves. But nonetheless, so separating is done out of need, right? This separation of wheat from the chaff. And it's to figure out which projects are worth investing time in. So you may also find that that's an area that you're like the new beginnings may also be like, okay, you still have to do that process of separating the wheat from the chaff. So if you're hiring new employees or you're looking for new, whatever it is, you do have to, what's it called? You have to go into people's backgrounds. You're going to have to be, diligent in doing your research on people, is what I'm understanding. But also there's a separation in itself, just again, that whole ascension process. Now, when you're separating the wheat from the chaff, you're separating things that are of high standard from things that are low quality, right? Because you can't do anything with the chaff, right? The wheat you can do a lot with, but not with the chaff. So, and it's also considered to be quite clear that the wheat represents those who are truly repentant, those who have changed their ways. Let's see what else here. And it's also, I got the biblical examples and I got an example from Hebrew language just to understand the word, because I'm all about understanding vocabulary. And the reason you have to do that is because it can't be consumed. So you can't consume wheat if the chaff is still on it. So that's why it's like you can't even move forward. So that's why this big separation is happening. Now, biblically, it symbolizes life, fertility, blessings, and the righteous people, right? Let's see. You can't use it, right? So separating wheat from the chaff is an idiom that means to distinguish the valuable or important things from those that are worthless or insignificant. Again, no disrespect to anybody that you might have to cut off. It's just kind of like, it's not valuable to you. Those relationships, those partnerships, those whatever it is, those hangouts, whatever it is. And it originates from the practice of separating the grain from its outer husk during the harvest. So you're in your harvest season, right? It's springtime. That's why you're saying bye to these haters, okay? So let me go ahead and finish separating these cards because that's the whole process that got me into the mindset of, oh, don't forget the wheat from chaff download. Yeah, it's the survival of the fittest. Oh, this is one of my things that I love. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right there at the middle of this. Survival of the fittest, wheat from the chaff, setting high boundaries and no expectations. You don't expect anybody to perform a certain way. You just gonna see the false light individuals, the people who are telling half truths, whatever. They'll have to just understand on their own. It's a moment that they can't get back, or the people who've lost in the survival of the fittest battle is what I'm being instructed to communicate. Okay, let's put these where they go. So answers are coming in. Wow, there's like a whole little separation process that's actually happening. Woo! Yeah. I was told to put this here. That's the High Priestess card. It feels like a wall of protection. Just what I'm like, a mystical, majestic wall of protection and knowledge and insight And, you know, something that came with this process of self-acceptance and bridging your body and your mind. So not being hurt, even if somebody physically harmed you. You know what I mean? If someone came and ripped something out of your hands, you know, even if they did it mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever it is, it's being returned. There's this force. I don't know. You being exclusive, like I said, separating that wheat from chaff. No disrespect. You just not. It's not going to work here because chaff is useless. I can't keep saying that these people are useless here. That's why this is happening. Gosh, I hate this energy because they're so like erratic and crazy, and you know, the energy is so nasty, and it's all festering within their own spirits and their lives. It's so disgusting. But again, you being exclusive is significant. You enjoying the little things. Okay, I think I'm supposed to share there something that also happened. So my grandmother passed last year, and I am a sentimental person to heart. And so I asked for, like one of the things that I asked that she had in her possession was her pair of shoes. Now these are just like a regular old, like little, they're not even regular. They like, you know, they're like old Tai Chi shoes. Let's just call them that. They got dust and dirt from Africa on them and all kinds of stuff. They're just her like outside the house, around the house, you know, kind of shoes, planting, you know, whatever. But mostly probably doing Tai Chi. But anyway, every now and then I'm kind of called to kind of sit and put on her shoes. Now the funny thing about this is they fit my feet. Okay, that's why, you know, it was probably like, oh, okay, we have no problem giving that to her because they fit my feet. I wear the same size shoe as her. And then today I was just kind of prompted while I was doing my downloads, because I took the shoes out a couple days ago, like over the weekend, to wear them and kind of, you know, just, you know, remember my grandma and pull in the good loving energy that I remember from her as I'm just going throughout my day or whatever, or month or week, however, you know, just when the mood strikes me. But this time it prompted me to look inside the shoes, even though like I said, I already know they're my size, but it prompted me to kind of look at the name, and it was Time and True was the name of the shoes, size 10. So I don't know, maybe something's happening by the 10th of this month or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's this attainment of wholeness and the celebration of life. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put this over here. Let me finish separating. Oh, how they feel on the inside is eating them alive. Someone's falling gravely ill too, because you know that can happen too. I was reminded when I made this card of like the person that did the heist on Kim Kardashian, the old like 70-something-year-old robber, saying he regrets it. You think? You think? Why did you have to do it to regret it? Like, you could have just been like, oh, I regret that. I'd regret if I ever did that. Okay, this Capricorn energy is coming out here too. Okay. All right. That you're not checking for people either, because you don't want them anymore, but this is what came out. You don't check for them, and they wish you would so bad. So bad. You don't want them. Okay. Showing up, money mindset, business breakdown, ancestors, guardian angels, transformation progress, and spiritual, as above, good rituals, spirituals, so below, here on earth, for you to see signs, Every dog has its day, and motivate me. These are just random titles that I wrote on a card to put out readings. So, and I take it that everything is significant. Like, you know, it's kind of like divinely guided. You know, Mother Nature threw it in there somehow. So I'm going to, you know, keep going. I don't know whether it was the wind or Mother Nature saying, clean up the cards, and it just went in there. But there's some really loving energy too. Ooh. Oh, I love you too. You've ascended magnificently. Like I said, it's all about that separation and being unbothered, of course. It's useless. It's chaff. They're chaff. They're useless. Hearing them, anything. Yeah. And you're realizing where you need to extend your love. Yeah, these people aren't transforming. I was told to leave it in reverse like it came out and put it over here. Oh, okay. Wow. Pisces. see could be significant. Test of time, if that, you know, decision making, reasoning. Put that there because, like I said, you're in this separation on this new level now, right? Okay. They're watching you has cost them everything. A new world exposed. That's funny because I made a new card too that said, like, the fact that you don't look people up, like that other card, they you know how irritated they are because you're not looking them up. Like, that also proves that, like, you're not interested. You haven't been involved in anything too. That's also why nothing can stop you, is because you're so, like, disinterested. It's beyond unbothered. It's beyond, you know, not dealing with it. It's just kind of like, oh, if it even comes, oh, but I feel like there's this protective wall again that doesn't allow these things. That was also a new card that I made too, so maybe it'll come out. Yeah, it's because other people never matter when it comes to what you're doing, you know? You know that because you can't get the moment back. You know, you can't reverse when you put somebody else before yourself, right? You won't, and you don't want to burden yourself, right? Which, like, these people are now. They put someone else's agenda, or they put their desire to see you in a certain light before focusing on themselves. Yeah, there's no third parties. That card just says this union is not at stake. That's why no third parties exist. Yeah. Ooh. Scammers fell ill to a whole new scam. Okay, so this energy is giving me 100%. How could you work with people that lie, manipulate situations, circumstances, etc., etc., even if they said they were doing it in the pursuit of good? How could you ever determine that these people wouldn't do that to you? And did you vet them enough? That's what I'm understanding. Did you vet them enough to see if they were going to, you know what I mean? Like, there's something like that. Like, whoever these people are that got themselves caught up with these people, it's like they never vetted anybody that they dealt with, you know? And I feel like a lot of these people already knew you. They had already vetted you. They saw who you were and what you were about. They just couldn't believe themselves. It's that also that mindset of, like, well, I can't imagine that if I was that successful and if I was that good looking and if I was, you know, had my stuff together and I was, you know, emotionally stable and I was a good, you know, provider or a wife, whatever you want to call it, however it works out for your scenario. They just can't imagine that if they had all of these benefits to themselves, that they would manipulate them, because they don't have benefits. And the reason why is because they manipulate them. So, as we've seen, but it's, so the scam is that they've been used by other people. And those other people got them into, like, the worst of situations, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of them are now married and unhappy because they didn't realize that. A lot of people don't even have the creativity to go beyond the fear to expand. You know, it says go without fear to expand, and these people won't. Every time they get scared or afraid, they start to turn back. And again, that's, I talked about that in my neurology. Yeah, this celebration, ooh, own your truth. Ooh, excellent judge of character is what you are. Excellent. And some of these people are on the run from everyone because people are actually seeing how they, like, the scammers fell ill to a whole new scam. So they're seeing how they, you know, maybe they ran certain scams, you know, like, oh yeah, we got this, you know, boosted scam. Oh yeah, we, you know, got fake credit cards. We got fake this, we got fake that, whatever they were doing. They got involved in a whole nother type of scam. And that's what kind of blew it all up in their faces. And you really accepting yourself. This is paramount. Not a single way in. These people don't have a single way in to communicate like to communicate with you in a way that you would receive it. Because even if people are messaging you or calling you or texting you, you're like, Shav. Just throw it away. I'm glad it didn't fall over, because again, you ain't gonna fall off. That's that part. They need to go within. Yeah, they feel like they're being suffocated by the hardships. A lot of these people are having really bad migraines. They may even, like, get to a catastrophic level where they're rushed to an emergency room. I had a lot of emergency room energy that came out. Ooh, it's a bad auntie because this card fell in the reverse. The only option they have is to go through their karmic sentence. There's no way to end any of this other than to go through it. That was a heavy download that I got on these new cards. It's kind of like, because they won't let go of their anger, their frustration, their envy, their jealousy, their, need to be right, their need to control, because they won't let go. That's why their spell won't work. Now, previously, it worked on you because you hadn't let go of those things. You hadn't let go of the pain. You hadn't let go of the trauma. I pressed my hand really tight. And maybe even for a minute too, it used to leave like these little creases, right, in your hand because you were holding on to it so tight. My so-and-so, my this, my that. That's the wrong mindset. I saw something like that too. I don't even do that with my children because they're individuals, but yeah, the only thing that will stop you is what you let stop you. Again, that's why things won't work. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. What was the first card out? Hi, haters. You don't even have time to say hi. Like, that's why we had to make a card for it. Bye. It instantly says hi, smile, bye. It reminds me of this thing that came up. There was a short that came up on my feed where this guy starts videotaping because he felt like this guy, hit his car, but it was a pedestrian and he was in the crosswalk. And so the pedestrian tapped on his car and was like, hey man, don't, pull in the crosswalk because we're pedestrians. That's who it's made for. That's the right of way at this time even. So the guy pulls out his camera and is like, hey, you just hit my car. You just hit my car. And the guy comes back over and he goes, hey man. He was like, no, I tapped it. And he was like, why you hit my car? Why you hit my car? He was like, I was tapping it to let you know that you're in the crosswalk. And the guy's like still going off and, like he's going to do something, but he's videotaping, hoping the guy will get mad at him. And the guy says, oh, hey, he waves to the camera and he like blows a kiss. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, oh, he's like, oh, is this not normal for you, for me to communicate like an adult and tell you what was actually happening in that moment? So that's what I'm getting is like the energy of these people here. It's like they're so aggressive and looking for a problem. And, they don't realize how, don't be stupid. The writing is on the wall. Well, wow. Yeah, you're moving on. This is your rite of passage. So let's go through these because I didn't read all of them, but I will. Actually, let's save the best for last. That's where we at, right? All right. So here we are and what the bed they made for themselves, right? So let's go ahead and look at these. Boop, boop. Don't be stupid now. The writing is on the wall, okay? They feel like they are being suffocated by hardships and headaches, okay? The only option they have is to go through their karmic sentence. They need to go within. That's what that means. They're on the run from everyone around them. They're trying not to be seen. If they have to go out and do work and blah, 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 they're not able to even go with without fear to expand. So they're in a place of like, they need to get out of the work that they're in, or they need to get out of the, the lease that they're in. Like they need to get out of whatever it is that they're in. And there's no way unless they go through it. Like you can't avoid this is the energy. This influencer model is going to be exposed for rituals and black magic that they did on others in the industry. I got a heavy car accident energy too, related to that. Also because that boxer that came up who lost his title, a part of that was because he was caught being a thief. But there was also like an energy of like something else that I looked up and it was like, there was a hit and run or something too, something like, but regardless, it might have something to do with one of these extra scammers that's married and unhappy. That person or these people are burdened by too many responsibilities. They're having to work really, really hard. And I'm hearing like the scrounging, like it's like, I don't know, rubbing nickels together. I don't know, pennies, I don't know. I ain't over there. That's because of this two-faced agenda that they had on their own groups. Like I said earlier, these people, the scammers fell ill to a scam. They got scammed in a different way. They wasn't ready for this. They didn't understand what the scam was here. They didn't understand that the scam is to get more people because that's what the devil does. Anyway, their watching you has cost them everything. A new world has been exposed. Like a new world of like what people will put themselves into, what kind of menageries and of chaos and BS that people will create for their own selves. Woo! The connection to their home state goes back to 2003, and many of them were very, very young teens. I don't even remember writing this, but there's some home state energy of they've been watching. Imagine if they went back and dug back into like connections, because that's what it says here. Maybe this investigators or these investigators went ahead and went back to all the way to 2003. Yep, goes back to 2003. They connected all the dots. La 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 la. Connect the dots. La 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 la. This person has destroyed everything, as far as I know. All of their soul contracts via root work or narcissistic behavior, because it works the same way. They know that. How they feel on the inside is eating them alive. Falling gravely ill. I'm hearing like stomach rotting and like all kinds of things. And that's because they refuse to transform the way that they holding on so tight. Look, it went right in reverse. Holding on so tight to, anger and envy and jealousy and greed, instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna let that go and then maybe see if I can hold on to some things about myself that are valuable. That's what made them invaluable. That's what made them invaluable. They wanted to hold on to your invaluable. And so they couldn't actually open their hands to see their own value. It's wild. Yeah, this is somebody that you don't want. You don't check for them. And they don't want people to know that you don't check for them. And they want you to so bad. So bad. You feel like they're just an imminent darkness. That's what you feel like their energy is. They're a felony accessory after the fact, and they are going to be severely punished. Ooh, a felony accessory after the fact is more, so a lot of these people are going down with felony accessory after the fact. Maybe some people were paid off to like not communicate things and stuff like that. So they're getting more severely punished. Like I said, the deeper they dig this hole, they think they're getting themselves out of it. Okay, you need me to do this? Okay, they do it. Now you're a felony accessory. Your family moved when they did to continue working against you. Take it if it resonates. Doesn't matter what family member it is. People could be moving around just to kind of see, I don't know. But anyway, once you pinpoint any issues, they get served back to where they came from. Again, that's this, they don't have a single way in, It's like vampires. Hello? Vampire at the door. Michael B. Jordan's movie, Sinners. These sinners is at the door. They cannot get in. You is not inviting these people in. That's a moment you can't get back. You don't care who outside either. You don't care who out there. Hey, look, sad to see you go, but we got to say who's here. That's the part I'm understanding, right? There's a website. I didn't even see this. Ooh, there's a website that is considered to be human trafficking. They're going down, 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 down. They keep getting mad because others don't want to help them. This is ruining everyone. That's why. Yeah, somebody's, somebody's car's gotten repoed or about to again, or something like that. Service providers cutting off services, past due bills, hiding stuff like that. Like, oh no, somebody might have been like, well, where's your ring? I wanted to see it. And they were like, oh no, like they didn't tell him that whole situation is over. This may be one of the Gross sisters or somebody that clicked up with them. They're communicating. So one of the Gross sisters is communicating against the two other sisters. So these could be sorority sisters. These could be actual sisters. These could be church sisters that all hang out. So somebody's the odd man out. And that's funny because there's 3 people viewing and 1 thumbs up right now. Hit the like, please, if any of this resonates. All right. When they send you negative thought projections, you send them back. They're wondering, how are you defeating this? I'm sending it back where it came from. Did they think you weren't able to do that? That's that false light energy. Oh, this person won't know. That was another card that I made too, because what I understood, the down low said that like you have all right. If they felt like you had done them wrong in some way, shape, or form, and they had the right to do these things against you, you have every right to go and pick up the same spell work that they use, the same attitude, the same energy, etc., etc. You just don't, but you will, because protection is required at this level. That's what I'm understanding. You're not going to feel any qualms. Like, ain't going to be no, like, nope. It's important. You do things differently now. Wow, where'd that come from? That was over here. It was supposed to be in the middle. That's funny because I was... A business person's cult involvement now has their church being investigated by the feds. Yeah, y'all ain't getting away. You cannot hold up the cross and you the demon. Like, what the hell? They sold their souls. A soul, soul to a demon, you can never get it back. I'm sorry, not sorry. That's literally the energy right now. Moving on to my new beginnings. Don't worry about where I be living, it's none of your business. Anyway, you've been inspired to attain financial success, skill, development, manifestation. What I'm also understanding in that is like your skill is the fact that you're just listening, you're just watching, you're just listening, you're just watching. There's also a different group on the planet too that people don't necessarily know about, and they're called the Watchers. And they're watching. A lot of these individuals are children. I feel like that's where a lot of these people got it wrong too. They forgot about the future of the children. Sorry to big so Whitney Houston, but it's the reality. They forgot about the children, that the children are our future. What are you teaching them when you're teaching them this? Watching. They always say that about parents too, right? Your children are watching you. But anyway, your spiritual level up is on multiple levels. That's what they don't get. Hi, haters. Bye, haters. Bye. It's like that little girl who was getting out her dad's car in India or somewhere like that, and she was just a waving and dancing, and the only thing that will stop you is what you let stop you. I get there's nothing that you will let stop you. You don't agree with anything stopping you because you know that you deserve what you require and what you're gonna get. Yeah, daddy and mommy are a power couple, and people will continue to look up to them. So even if the spirit baby is an actual business, partnerships are there for a reason. That's the end of it. You know, accepting all of you, you know, understanding that it can be whatever it needs to be as long as it fulfills your purpose, right? You're becoming an excellent judge of character. There's somebody that has a New York accent because I accidentally wrote the word use, and that's come out a lot of times. So maybe there's a New York energy too. You're owning your truth. This is a thick card. Celebration. This union is not at stake. That's why no third party. So it's like when you go into a partnership, whether it be for business or to, you know, hire a tutor for your child, like whatever it is that you're doing next and new and different and, you know, for your forward progression and your children who are the future, or children in general, because some people just have big hearts and they care about the future of the planet. But anyway. People lost that. And then we got all these floozies trying to flaunt on Earth Day. That's weird. Go plant a tree, ho. Anyway, there's nothing that can stop you. Wow. Wow. This was just a test of time. Likely for them, you know. Anticipate good things, good people, good times, good love, good vibrations. Okay? Divine Feminine keeps a calendar of when you fall asleep in it, trying to find out a recipe for it, perfecting her moves again. So there's this divine connection where, you know, and then maybe even like if this is just a business partnership, she's keeping a calendar of kind of like, or like a notebook of kind of like, okay, these are the ideas and these are the communications that we agreed on that would work, trying to help you find the right recipe for whatever it is. Because again, you know, it's about the realizations, right? What you come to realize, you know, where the light comes from. Extend your love, you know, and in all of these really good harmonious relationships, remain unbothered by this outside influence. That was your ascension process. That was your task. That was that test of time. Is time going to teach you the lesson to learn to be unbothered? Because you've learned all these other lessons. So is it going to teach you to be so fierce and determined in a Knight of Swords energy that you have this, you know, mental agility and you're being intellectually immature and acting, you know, with proper thought, and then taking the time to reassess before you progress? Yeah, I like that. I love you too. Divine Masculine is good at surprises. Wow. Yeah, there's something about this Mother Nature, like everything just works as planned because of course the universe goes with it. My body all over your body. It's your body, baby. All over my body, girl. I got some other Tank song too, Hours for Hours. I couldn't stand that song when it came out because it was overdone, but it might hit the spot. That's all I'm gonna say. So get that stretching on, them Kegel exercises, you know, lifting heavy weights. Now I can bench 280. Just kidding. Attainment and wholeness. Maybe I will. Celebration of life. There's no need for anybody to bench 280 unless they're, you know, a bodybuilder, in my personal opinion, or they have, you know, some specific purpose. I mean, you know, goals. Everybody has their own goals. You know, enjoy those little things. Again, whatever brings you attainment and wholeness. No disrespect. You know, everybody determines what's useful, what's not useful, right, and what's useful in their lives. This is the process that you see in the end, like this mess. This is this false light. That's what. Yeah, being exclusive and reserved is what's significant. Woo! I was about to say sex. That's why it's significant. Anyway, self-acceptance, bridging the body and the mind. Ooh, I'm also getting like a heavy Kama Sutra energy too. Here with this new energy. And it says set high boundaries and no expectations. Only to come in, to do well, and you know, if it's this, you know, the survival of the fittest. So I guess that's what we're getting into now. So the survival of the fittest, your capability to examine people, places, things, opportunities, other people's failures, your own failures, and see if there's, you know, an opportunity to bring it back alive, or even, or like, I don't know. But there's, I don't know, I'm getting like a diligence and knowledge and attention to detail. Okay, that's what's happening. Attention to detail. And that's why there's no way in. Oh, okay, because it's a very detailed situation. That's why, you know, you gotta set those high boundaries. And then no expectations, because you're supposed to be open to whatever's happening next. Once you pinpoint any issues, then that's when you serve them to whence they came. I don't feel the energy of issues, but I feel this is just for like the evaluation process, you know, for the decision-making process. You know, help you understand like why you even decided to go this way versus that way. But I feel like it's obvious here what's not important. Ooh, it's important that you do things differently. Yeah, so that's why. Because it is. You have to do different to achieve different. Oh, that's that complacency error in life lesson. You know, you can't just be consistent in one area. You have to be consistent in all areas that are going to bring you fulfillment. That's all I can understand. And you know that other people don't matter, you know, what they think about. They never do. Never, ever. Yeah. And putting them forward in front of your own desires and, you know, wants and needs, you know, to sit in lack. That's what you can't get back. And you know that now, you know, and you're no longer going to sit in that energy of like inaction. You're going within, you know, that's what's bringing about this majestical, mystical type of energy. This is the high priest and high priestess again. And that's why, you know, the answers are coming. Like, you know, it's almost like you don't even need to cross your fingers, but you will just because, you know, it's all about this extra security in the situation, right in the middle of the situation. So, all right. Well, that's a nice little 30-40 minutes. I hope that this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form. I don't think that I need to pull any other cards unless someone has something they want me to consult them about. But I feel like that was very thorough. Just for placement of, you know, energy for the first day of the month too. It's the first of the month. It's the first of the month. Ooh, yeah, and your team spirit energy is accelerating too. Your desire to catch up and meet your goals and, you know, interests and approach and communicate things. That's being very supportive. Like I said, there's this, you know, right now. And you know that. Wow. Right now. Ooh, yeah. So get excited is what I am being told to say. Get excited. You know, you didn't get excited about the fact that you didn't struggle for nothing. You know, there's this joy. It's also kind of like the rose that grew through concrete type of energy. The surprise of, you know, a good life. Ooh, wow. Resources, wealth, opportunities, and being able to, ooh, this is that shaft over here. So again, it's coming out like it was coming out earlier. So this is what's happening. It's happening now, right? Immediately, hastily, in this second. You're supposed to be taking action too if you have not, which I know we all are making sure we're taking action in all areas, mind, body, spirit, every day. These people are in some type of daze. They're, you know, looking back or thinking back about, you know, their foolish, you know, things that they've done. And like, they're just stuck in this daze of like, where they hesitated and where they went wrong, and how it's no, you know, no options available for them right now. Yeah, there's no negotiation. It came out in the reverse. They can't negotiate with you for your wealth and resources or opportunities. So that's been cut off. That's what they're in this like daze about. Yeah. They can't, you know, come in with energy that, you know, I pretend to be, you know, fake love, like kind of try to reincarnate some old, hey, you, like, no, you get some no love. Yeah. That time is over. You know, they lost maybe even quicker than they thought they would, right? That's also what I was confused about too, is because I wasn't understanding something, because I was like, well, if they did, you know, if these people actually did like spell work or like put your name in like falsified, you know, evidence against you or whatever it is, like, don't they, like, did they never think that they would get caught? Like, that's the energy that I'm like not understanding, from a perception of like repentance, I guess, like separating themselves from the things that they know will do harm to their, you know, forward movement in life. Yeah, maybe even some of these people they're no longer confused about why you distance yourself. They know that their process of alienating you or trying to alienate you from whatever it is that you wanted most is why, you know, you had to move forward and pursue your happiness. You know, like I said, you don't care about putting that pressure on. Go ahead and be pressured out. Stop being nosy. That's where most of the pressure comes. Stop being nosy. Somebody's trying to be nosy. Yeah, nobody's disillusioned anymore is what I'm understanding. Nobody's confused about like why everything has changed, why everybody's hearts have changed, you know, who their hearts were, you know, going towards and felt affinity towards, and, you know, why that's happened, you know, and why these people haven't had any change for themselves. Okay. I guess maybe it was supposed to be an example for them. It's like they're being made an example of, well, you already did that, but their brokenness wouldn't allow them to see it that way. They thought they were breaking you, but you were allowing your brokenness to be repaired. Wow. Oh, yeah, that's over. When it's over. They don't want this part to come out. Yeah. They can't, like, there's no acceleration for them. It's like there's no, you know, with an acceleration, you have to have, like, when a car starts, it has to, you know, ignition. There's no ignition. Hey, is it time for R. Kelly? It's time for R. Kelly, I think. That ignition, like, there's no... I don't care if it's an old Volvo and you gotta lift the hood and hit it with a broomstick and try to get it to that starter not turning over for them. That starter is not turning over. Wow. It's not going to, like, I don't know. There's just not, like, I don't know. Listen, that's what happens to broken people who try to snoop and then confront you on stuff that they found out that's actually a lie. Like, they wanted to confront you about your mastery and your skill and your charisma. Like, why are you so happy? No, your business. Why are you so happy? That's an angry mofo right there for you. Somebody say, what you all smiling about? I probably would have that direct response to somebody. If you come at me with that type of energy, oh, hell, you're going to get laughed out the room, baby. You going to get laughed. I ain't even got to say a word. I'm just laugh at you. Ooh, and that's the energy. They're all going to laugh at me. That's what this person is feeling right now. Oh, the acceleration of all of this stuff that they did. They feel that confrontation coming from other people. Oh, that was a download and a card that I made today too. It's like people are legit. Like, everything is confronting them in their finances, in their relationships, when they go out in public. Like, people are even having other people like go at them. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, this confrontation that they're experiencing. And it's because they kept comparing themselves to you. And now they're under judgment for that. You know, that's what they did in this confrontation energy. Like, that whole, like, Joe, whatever his name is, that boxer that lost, or no, he's an MMA guy. I think that's what he is. Somebody, I told y'all earlier who it was, but yeah, he lost his stuff. He couldn't get out of this broken energy. That's why we see people in these circumstances. When you can't heal yourself, you can't hold on to any prosperity and finances and money because you haven't healed yourself enough to know how to maintain them. Because you'll typically just keep in the same, relationships, like a lot of these football players who end up, stuck. For a while, my news feed, like on YouTube, was just showing all these different ball players and pro athletes who just ruined their whole lives with, over a woman. It's just really wild because, this has been, a thing that we've seen go on. And it's because of bad choices, over the course of time, repeated cycles, I see this other young man too. His girlfriend do not like him at all. She is only there for the money. And unfortunately, if you gonna marry her, I think this is some young man who just got drafted to the NFL. And he and his woman are different races. Not that that matters. I'm just trying to help you know. And he's really young, I think he's being mentored or coached by Coach Prime. So there's this heavy energy of it's coach. I feel like coach is telling him it's like the writing is on the wall, like that other thing. Yeah. Everybody has to understand their assignments and their procedures for that with respect to the things that they value. Do you value family or would you try to ruin one? Do you value money or would you try to, ruin others with it? I have enough money to pay for this and that and this and that, so I must be able to do this. God wouldn't give me this money if I wasn't supposed to be able to go and do this. That's what some of these people think because they're not in the upright. They are not in the upright in any way, shape, or form. And that's what you've already expressed. You are a master at expressing that because it just lives within you. Again, that other reading that I did was it's in your soul. It's not even in your heart or your mind. It's in your soul. That's what sets you off. That's what sets you off to have these new adventures, to strive for, new things, more growth, being optimistic. Now you're on this adventure, this reliable adventure, though. That's what's different. That's the biggest difference, is that it's a reliable adventure. You can take that unknown risk. You can have the courage. And you'll be on this thrilling ride. By the way, I'm afraid of heights, but I will go on an air balloon ride. I'm okay with that, but don't ask me to do nothing crazy. Because I've seen some people do crazy things on things really high in the air. No. But that's what you can expect, this reliable, expectation. Like I said, good news and trust. That's what you can expect from your partnerships moving forward and everything. Again, my grandmother's shoes said what? Time and true. You let time show that you were being true. Right on time. Everything's coming in right on time. You remain steadfast in that, though, too. That's the thing. People can't do that. Yep. So keep in mind this enterprising spirit that you have in every area of your life. You seek to be enterprising in every area of their life. You seek to pursue things and achieve things and have goals in all aspects and areas of your life, whether it be with people, whether it be with yourself, whether it be with your knowledge, whatever it is. Okay, that focus is really what guides you and leads you right now. Even though okay, I may go down this road and find things that are attractive, could be even unpredictable, or things that were secret, that were withheld from me. But in that process of life, that's when you have this rebirth, because you knew to let things go. Memories, experiences, history. When I sit down and take the time in my grandmother's shoes, I'm not crying. I'm not in a depressed energy either. I'm in an excited energy, and I want to put on shoes to help me for my journey, And again, that's probably a lot of the feet energy, the grounding. Okay, that's what I was seeing. So if you haven't grounded recently, that may be a part of the process. Also, like I said, separating that wheat from chaff, not having the fear because that's my mama or that's my cousin or that's my best friend. Not having that fear to run away from all types of people that wanted to put you in danger, that want to hold you captive, and that would not allow you to be free. Yeah. And you're on this, team spirit energy. Like we said when we came out, that's full of joy, love, and surprise. Surprises. I like surprises. I don't like secrets. Secrets typically hurt people, but I like surprises. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, people can approach you. Again, that's here. That sun card came out, yeah. maybe people are starting to look back and see that too, because that was the question I was asking too. It's like, if they did this stuff to you and it was supposed to do this, when was it supposed to do this yet? And that's why I wonder, like, why people keep trying to, you know, persist when they know they're not wanted, like they're useless. So it's like, well, I don't know. I guess I was trying to understand insanity. Yeah, I was trying to open that password box on crazy. But they can keep it. They can keep their manic, broken processes to themselves. It's fine. You know what you do. You have the right to do for your protection and to remove yourself, and how to remove yourself from all this ratchetness. Yeah, from this came out in reverse. Yeah, you're not lost or discarded or reduced by anything that's happened to you in reality. You reclaimed everything because it was never supposed to be discarded or reduced. Like, that's what I understand too. Like, these people can never get back their reputations, period. It's just no. I mean, essentially, because it's like, okay, well, when reality sets in, when the truth is revealed, you know, it's always a time for that. So get excited about this loyalty and this good aid and dedication and judgment, because that aid came out strong and heavy. I feel like it's an aid in a way that kind of just blows your mind. And I'm not necessarily, like, this is the thing, I'm not necessarily talking about somebody coming in and handing you money, but yes, that can be the statement for many people, you know, in this instance, or that can be what a lot of people desire. But in the instance of you being able to contribute to, or it's just a contribution thing, like aid may just be finding a good nanny, you know, a housekeeper. I've stressed in my earlier readings, like, it's hard to find good help, right? A lot of people, you know, are so afraid that people will be like them. Like, for instance, I went to my mother, and when we started to share a house so that I could, you know, travel a bit more and have somebody present for, you know, keeping an eye on the kids while I was out of town. In that instance, what was I telling you? Oh gosh, I'm gonna get that one out. I asked my mother, I said, okay, well, something I normally do because I'm so strapped for time, because having, you know, 3 children is a lot of work, right? Even though, you know, she had my stepfather to help her with everything. But I understood it from the perspective of doing it all on my own, you know? So I was like, well, in that instance, when I was able to hire a house cleaning lady to come through, you know, and find a good one, you know, she told me when she was coming in, I wanted her to come in every week. She was like, no, every other week. I was kind of like, you gonna make me clean up? Like, I thought we had a relationship. She's like, we do. You know? And I had to accept it because I wanted her to be my cleaning lady. Like, people came in and were like, dang, is that a new light fixture? No, the cleaning ladies, you know, they do everything, you know? But that was the situation with my mother. I was like, well, I afforded that for myself, and I want to, you know, lessen your burden. So, you know, I'll have my cleaning lady come in, you know, every other week. I don't want nobody up in my house. There you go. That old, long, sluggish energy that keeps you stuck in a lack mindset. You so afraid that somebody gonna come in your house and do you wrong that you can't even get your house clean. And then a month or 2 later, you probably wanted that. All of a sudden, you realize your long, slow, sluggish incapability to get on board with things that would lighten your load, with things that would progress you, with things that would finesse you, you know. They wanted to run away from the, you know, the good energy. That's what I'm seeing here. It's like running away from the sun. What? I don't understand. How could you think that the sun is going to hurt you? It's got the vitamin D. Even my dog sunbathes. Like, come on, guys. So you've reclaimed all your happiness, your contentment, your satisfaction in life. You know, you've recalled all of that to yourself, you know, and you know, are returning any type of memories that don't serve you, you know, any type of memories of, you know, the growth process. Let's just call it that rose growing through the concrete, whatever thorn it had to take out. Because, Lord, I hate a thorn in my side type of person, because, oh, they feel like a crown of thorns sometimes, don't they? Just, oh. You know, that's what they're going to have to do now, wear that crown and take up that cross. Some of them don't even understand what that means. What does it even mean? I don't know, but it gets the people going. It show better. That's what I hear. It sure better. They better get going in the right direction. Trying to, it's an inside job. It's an inside job. This right here is an inside job. They can't expect anybody else to come in and create that. Like, we're going to be happy once we get this. You got to be happy already to maintain it. That's why a lot of these people are losing everything. They didn't understand the value and where to place value, right? Because they placed it on the wrong things. And then they ended up losing everything. They bet on the losing team. I mean, diehard fans, I guess. Loyal dogs, right? That's what they call them, loyal dogs. You know, they thought that they were being loyal to something, but in the end, you know, they were to the same type of behavior and treatment that they exude. You know, treat others how you want to be treated, and that's what's happening. They showed that they wanted to be treated in a certain way because of how they treated you. You can't dismiss a certain person on the planet. That's not your judgment call. You don't get to do that. I don't care what they look like. It's not their call. They shouldn't have done it. That's all I have to say. It's coming in, that pressure. That pressure and that growth. You've been diligent, keeping the right energy of abundance, wealth, and freedom, because they all matter. Not just the wealth, not just the abundance, and not just the freedom. Mind, body, soul. Figure it out for yourself. Figure out your own reincarnation, your own rhythm, and your own certainty within yourself. That's the only thing that you can hold a string to, is your own spirit and soul. All right, I'm about to go because that was just a sign. Yep, so it's coming in. You know, whoever lost, just fleeting. I got the energy earlier too. One of the downloads I got was like scattering like roaches. What they don't realize is a lot of people get stomped out like that. If they was in to stomp this person out energy, like y'all roaches finna get stomped out too. And then the rest of these fools is raid. I'm hearing somebody bop the wrong salsa. You know, they rock the wrong salsa. I don't know if you know the salsa commercials. They say, pick up the pace. They should have picked up the pace in the right direction. La Victoria, they did something wrong. Shit. Ain't got nothing to do with you. Go ahead, keep correcting people when you need to correct them. I tapped your car. Oh, is this confusing you because I'm communicating like an adult? Oh, hey, we got a camera. You trying to record me to be normal? Okay, hey, look, everybody, example A, exhibit A. Be good people, be communicative in the right energy. You hit my car. You almost hit me. I'm a person. You see the insignificance? You hit my car. Now, I don't want nobody in my house. All right, cool. Have a good day.